Basically, what went down inside was Myles Garrett and his people pled their case, and according to Dan Graziano, he actually has all the details of what went down. He's reporting that Garrett and the NFLPA contend that the worst punishment any players actually received for a similar incident was when Houston's Antonio Smith swung a helmet in 2013. That was with Richie Incognito. And if you recall, Jeremy, he got 2 preseason games and 1 game because of that. And Garrett's people are arguing that 6 games, you also get paid for 6 games, is too much, on top of the fact that they've also argued that an indefinite suspension is actually not permitted. So they stated their case, the NFL then stated theirs, and it wrapped up around 11:15, 11:20. Myles Garrett in tow with Bus Cook, his agent, along with his mother and father, and a member of the Cleveland Browns. He didn't say anything to me, but I was able to text him, Jeremy, right after. I asked him, how do you think it went, simply? And he said, I think it went okay.
So, there is that precedent that they are citing about what happened 6 years ago. Maybe that will be the basis of a decision to reduce the suspension. We just heard from Mason Rudolph in Pittsburgh apologizing for his actions. The fact that Rudolph is apologizing for the way that he acted in the moments leading up to getting hit in the head with his own helmet by Myles Garrett, could that be something that mitigates here the situation for Garrett?
Yeah, talking to sources even before today's hearing, the words I kept hearing was that Myles Garrett needed to show remorse. He needed to show that he really, truly made a mistake. We know that he publicly apologized. He spoke to the media about it after the game on Thursday, but that was an important element. And hearing the other side of it, of Mason Rudolph also admitting that, he, of course, has regrets the way it all went down, and he also truly believes that Myles Garrett didn't mean to. And, Jeremy, I spoke to Myles after this all happened Thursday night, and he obviously was so embarrassed by all this. He was upset with himself. And anyone who has spent time around Myles can tell you and easily contest that he is a high character person. He takes pride in who he is. He's very close to his parents. And I was not surprised to see his parents with him today, knowing that they've always supported him.
How would you say the thinking in the locker room and in the building there in Berea has evolved?
Yeah, it probably depends on who you ask, Jeremy. I think Sheldon Richardson, Garrett's teammate along the defensive line, had the strongest comments. He said Myles was defending himself and he doesn't blame him. And I said, no, wait a minute. You're saying that Myles was defending himself, just so I hear that correctly. And Sheldon said, listen, the helmet was over the top. It was overboard. But when somebody rushes at you, helmet or not, you have that coming. But I think for the most part, the consensus opinion here is that what Myles did was wrong. It was a bad move on an action on his part, and that they're trying to move forward, supporting Myles Garrett as a member of the Cleveland Browns family, but at the same time moving forward as a team that all of a sudden still has a legit shot to make the playoffs.
We heard Dianna talking just a moment ago about his reputation as a high-character guy. We did a piece here just within the last few weeks about people telling him he needed to be more aggressive on the field, that he had to show that side of himself more when he was playing. So how do we wrap our heads around what happened?
Yeah, it's difficult. And, you saw that in the first 2 games. Myles had a 15-yard penalty for punching Tennessee Titans tight end Delanie Walker in the face mask. The next week, he knocks out the Jets' backup quarterback for the year on a late hit, broken ankle. And, you try to reconcile with what happened last Thursday with Myles Garrett with just last month. He's in his car, he's got his window down, and a fan comes up and punches him in the face out of nowhere. And he doesn't react. He just calls the police, reports the license plate number, and they find the fan and arrest him. And, so Myles has always been a pretty mild-mannered, quiet, very thoughtful player, at least from my observation in the locker room. And I think for all of us, that's what made what happened so stunning, that for anybody to react that way, it was Myles Garrett.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports, more analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+. We'll see you there.